In the wild, not every approach ends in success for the predator. Many recorded moments show prey escaping thanks to reflexes, discipline, and split-second choices. Once an attack is launched, even a small misstep can cause the entire plan to fall apart. The following stories capture incredible moments when prey escapes and the predator is forced to give up. On the vast Savannah, wildebeest don't seek advantage from bursts of speed. They survive on endurance by maintaining a steady pace over extended periods. Only when the chase is prolonged does the wildebeest's true advantage become apparent. A lion begins to accelerate. In the first 5 to 10 seconds, the powerful burst of speed gives the predator a clear advantage. The distance quickly narrows, the pace building to its highest tension. But that intensity also rapidly depletes the lion's energy under the prolonged heat. When the escape route is blocked, the wildebeest is forced to face the lion head-on. The leap kick to the lion's head is not a random reflex. It's a last-ditch defensive choice when all escape routes are closed. Immediately afterward, the horns point towards the lion's legs, not to finish it off, but enough to break the chase. From that moment, the balance begins to tip. Lions slow down and actively retreat when the risks outweigh the benefits. Wildebeest don't win by sheer strength. They survive by turning the hunt into an option no longer worth continuing. Hedgehogs are slow-moving animals, but they possess a remarkable defense system. Thousands of hard spines cover their bodies, always ready to spring up at the first sign of danger. This mechanism isn't for show or intimidation, but has evolved to create a real threat to any approaching predator. A young leopard approaches, misjudging its opponent. The approach is quick, based on its familiar habit of closing in. But in a brief moment, the spines spring up, creating a gap that forces the predator to retreat. The discomfort increases upon contact. The spines don't cause panic, but rather a lingering pain, enough to break the leopard's resolve. The leopard backs away, choosing to retreat rather than risk further danger. There is no second approach. The hedgehog slowly moves away from the danger zone, maintaining its defensive posture until it is safe. The young leopard leaves, distancing itself from an opponent whose cost is too high. In nature, specialized defense mechanisms are sometimes sufficient to make a hunt a worthwhile endeavor. Zebras are herbivores weighing between 500 and 900 pounds. Their tall bodies, long legs, and large lungs allow them to move persistently and maintain oxygen levels in stressful situations. When coming down to the riverbank to drink, zebras usually keep a short distance from the herd to be ready to support each other. Hidden beneath the water, the crocodile is in its most advantageous position. The deep water allows it to use a spinning pull, a technique only effective when the prey is completely submerged. The approach is swift, taking advantage of a rare moment of disorientation. The zebra is pulled off balance, but still keeps its upper body above the water. Its large lungs help it maintain oxygen, while its strong legs continuously kick to keep its axis. The successive rotations, rolls, and kicks disrupt the crocodile's attempt at a locking maneuver. In just seconds, the situation changes. The zebra escaped the deep water and returned to shore safely. The crocodile let go, retreating when the opportunity was gone. In nature, survival doesn't come from a direct counterattack, but from disrupting the opponent's finishing move. African buffalo are among the largest herbivores on the Savannah, often weighing over 1,000 pounds. They move in large herds, maintaining close distances and reacting collectively to any threat. Unlike many other prey species, buffalo rarely scatter when approached. A lion approaches the edge of the herd, looking for a disparity in formation. The familiar strategy is to apply pressure to separate an individual from the group. In the initial moments, tension increases as distance narrows, but the buffalo do not disperse. As soon as the danger becomes apparent, the individuals at the back turn around. The movement is organized, forming a unified mass toward the lion. Support appears almost instantaneously, forcing the predator to reassess the risk. The initiative gradually shifts away from the lion. In such encounters, two survival scenarios usually emerge. When the lions lose coordination or hesitate, the buffaloes escape the danger zone. And when collective pressure is maintained, the predators are forced to retreat. The confrontation ends without a fatal blow. The buffaloes maintain their formation and protect their pack. The lions retreat, realizing the cost outweighs the benefit. This is no ordinary hunt. It is a confrontation of spirit, organization, and collective coordination. In the vast open expanse of the savannah, the impala survives through constant vigilance and precise reflexes. Its compact size and agile directional changes allow it to quickly adapt to unexpected surroundings. However, even a slight deviation from its formation can put the impala in grave danger. Leopards don't hunt through prolonged chases. They wait for positional errors when the prey is momentarily disoriented or out of sync. The approach is silent, focusing entirely on the decisive moment. The impala is forced to react almost instantly. A well-timed, precise turn interrupts the leopard's charge. The difference isn't in being faster, but in a perfectly timed reflex within 0.2 seconds. The hunt ends when the element of surprise is gone. The leopard stops, not continuing when the risk exceeds its limit. Impala quickly return to the safe formation of the pack. In nature, a hunt fails not because the hunter is weak, but because the prey reacts at the crucial moment. Hares survive in the open air with heightened alertness and lightning-fast reflexes. Their compact bodies and strong hind legs allow them to leap and change direction in an instant. For hares, every movement is aimed at disrupting the approach from above. The eagle observes from above. It calculates the precise trajectory, swooping down in a straight line at high speed. In the first moment, all factors seem locked in. But just before the trajectory closes, the hare changes direction. A mere 0.1 second adjustment is enough to skew the entire calculation. The dive misses its target, and the aerial advantage vanishes. The approach ends quickly. The eagle regains its altitude, not continuing when the opportunity has passed. The hare disappears into the low grass. In nature, sometimes just a perfectly timed change of trajectory is enough to reverse the outcome. On open plains, gazelles are always on the move, ready to pounce. They don't rely on sheer speed, but on their ability to maintain rhythm and change direction at the right moment. For the gazelle, each stride is a decision to avoid falling into the predator's path. The lion isn't outpaced or outstretched. However, the approach distance and timing of the attack change the dynamics. When the charge is launched, the gazelle quickly changes direction and jumps, disrupting the pursuit in an instant. From that moment, the advantage quickly vanishes. The lion stops when it no longer has the precise conditions to continue. The gazelle leaves the danger zone, maintaining a safe distance. On the savannah, hunting is a matter of precision, not just strength. Rabbits aren't superior in terms of top speed. Their strength lies in their ability to accelerate very quickly and change direction constantly in tight spaces. From the very first seconds, the rabbit is prepared to disrupt the chase. A dog chases from behind. It's fast and persistent, but must constantly adjust as the rabbit isn't running in a straight line. The swerving, changing direction, and short jumps fragment the chase. The rabbit continues to change its trajectory. Each change of direction forces the predator to expend more energy and lose time adjusting. The distance no longer shortens as initially predicted. The chase gradually ends. The dog slows down as the advantage is no longer clear. The rabbit disappears into familiar terrain. In nature, intelligent movement is often more important than pure speed. These recorded moments show that survival isn't always in the hands of the aggressor. Prey survives through timely reflexes, the ability to maintain rhythm and organization under pressure. Even a small misstep in timing can derail a carefully planned approach. In nature, escaping safely is sometimes the greatest victory.
Freezing temperatures, hunger, and the struggle for survival are never absent from the northern wilderness. Wolves may not be the strongest, but they are masters of tactics and relentlessly pursue their prey. Each hunt is a battle of wits where coordination, timing, and persistence make all the difference. From confronting bears to chasing rabbits, wolf packs leave a clear mark of a species that constantly adapts. Elks, one of the large animals that move through dense forests and snow-covered valleys, can reach speeds of 40 miles per hour when in danger. But in winter, when the ice is thick and the ground slippery, that very speed becomes a risk. Their steps are no longer steady, and their reflexes slow due to the cold and exhaustion. The wolf pack doesn't attack immediately. They observe from a distance, keeping their distance and waiting, not to ambush, but to assess. They pay attention to every long, slipping step, every labored breath, and every sign of fatigue after a long, icy journey. When the weakest individual in the pack begins to lose their rhythm, that's when the strategy is put into action. One group of wolves approaches from the flank, creating disruption. The rest stays behind, blocking the escape route. The elk is left alone, trying to break through, but its footwork is no longer precise. The icy surface becomes an obstacle not because it's slippery, but because the elk can no longer utilize its speed advantage. The finishing blow didn't come immediately. The wolf retreated if the elk continued to resist strongly. But with each wave of pressure, each time exhausting the opponent, the coordination gradually pushed the elk to its limits. This wasn't a clash between two strong individuals, but a test of strategy and timing. The wolf didn't win through individual strength, but through its ability to read the situation and exploit weaknesses, even in the biting cold of winter. Grizzly bears are among the most powerful animals in North America. With their large size, quick reflexes, and high endurance, they usually have no clear rivals in their natural habitat. But in the wild, even the strongest can sometimes become a target for challenges. A young grizzly bear, separated from its pack, was foraging near the edge of the forest when it was spotted. The wolf pack approached cautiously. They spread out, maintaining a safe distance, barking loudly, creating a cacophony of sounds, and constantly moving to distract attention. Their goal wasn't a direct confrontation, but rather observing the bear's reaction. One wolf unexpectedly approached from behind, quickly attacking the bear's leg before retreating. This wasn't a decisive attack, but a test to assess the bear's fatigue, reflexes, and defenses. This approach allowed the pack to adjust their strategy without incurring losses. The bear retreated into the bushes, not out of fear, but to find a more advantageous position. The wolves did not pursue. They maintained their control. The confrontation ended without casualties. Here, retreat is not a sign of weakness. It is a calculated reaction to conserve energy and maintain position. In nature, strength is not only demonstrated through attack, but also through the ability to read the situation and make the right choices at the right time. Rabbits don't offer much energy, but in times of scarcity, even small targets become valuable. A wolf pack doesn't limit its prey to a single pattern. Maintaining a food source for the entire group is crucial. With their ability to change direction quickly and hide flexibly, rabbits make it difficult for lone wolves to hunt. However, when coordinated, the pack clearly divides into groups. One group approaches from the front to force the rabbit to change direction, while the other waits at the escape point. Instead of an aimless chase, every movement of the rabbit is scrutinized. The pack observes, analyzes, and exploits the distance when an opportunity arises. The result this time: the rabbit is defeated. Victory comes from coordination and careful calculation. This isn't a test of strength, but an illustration of adaptability in a harsh environment. When resources are scarce, the agile and united will find survival. Wild boars are a formidable species with a short, muscular build and sharp tusks. When cornered, they fight back fiercely, posing a real threat to their attacker. But even when alone, they remain a vulnerable target. Wolves don't rush in. They gauge the opponent's reaction, position themselves, and strike at the legs where they can slow them down. The goal is to gradually exhaust the prey, not to finish them off immediately. Each harassment wears down their strength and vigilance, and when the prey begins to slow down, the pack tightens its grip, completing the hunt. This victory belongs to the wolves not through a decisive blow, but through coordination, a clear strategy, and persistent pursuit. Caribou are common long-distance migrants in tundra regions. They move in large packs, maintaining a steady pace and consistent stamina. But a weak link in the formation immediately creates a gap. Wolves don't chase everyone. They wait for signs that a young, old, or exhausted individual is falling behind. The target isn't necessarily easily accessible, but easily separated from the pack. The key isn't speed, but choosing the right time and place. When an individual begins to fall behind, the pack deploys its formation. One group distracts from the flank, while the others move behind. Each approach is a test of reaction, assessing fatigue and vulnerability. Instead of charging head-on, they wear down their opponent through intermittent pressure. There's no immediate finish. Wolves don't seek quick victories, but focus on coordination, patience, and conserving energy. When the opponent is weakened, the wolf makes its final move. This is not a chase at high speed, but a game of calculation. Retreating when necessary is not a sign of defeat. It is how the wolf preserves its opportunity for the next attack. Bison are one of the most effective collective defense groups. When threatened, they immediately form a circle with the young in the center and the adults surrounding them, always on alert. With their large size and quick reflexes, adult bison are not easily subdued. Wolves don't try to break through the defenses with direct force. Instead, they divide roles. One group distracts and disrupts from the front, while the other silently approaches from behind. Their target is always a young, isolated individual, or one showing signs of exhaustion. Each move is accompanied by observation to find weaknesses, assess reactions, and identify the opportune moment. Fatigue is what wolves are waiting for. When a bison begins to lose its formation, the wolf pack immediately narrows the encirclement. There is no quick finish. Each approach is part of a gradual, time-consuming attrition strategy, carefully coordinated to avoid wasting energy. Even when gaining the upper hand, the risk of a strong reaction from the bison always remains. Victory isn't about overwhelming force, but about perseverance, good organization, and timing. That's how wolves survive in the harsh grasslands. Intelligence, not just brute strength. Musk oxen, native to the tundras of Alaska and Canada, are ancient animals that survived the Ice Age. With their thick fur and sturdy bodies, they are well adapted to the harsh cold. Musk ox herds are often large, sometimes numbering over 50 in winter. When they sense a threat, they immediately form a defensive circle, with the larger oxen on the outside protecting the young inside. A single horn charge can inflict serious injury. But even knowing the high risk, the wolf pack decides to attack, as such energy is essential during the long winter. Initially, the musk oxen held their formation, forcing the wolves to retreat. However, the wolves did not give up. They coordinated their efforts, applying pressure from multiple directions, constantly breaking through the defenses. An old and weak ox was separated from the pack. The wolves cornered it, preventing it from rejoining the formation. The fight dragged on, and when the prey was exhausted, an opportunity arose. The wolves' victory belonged not to strength, but to organization, perseverance, and precise timing. In nature, survival doesn't belong to the strongest, but to the species that knows how to cooperate and wait for their opportunity. From snow-covered plains to desolate grasslands, each attack is a matter of survival. Wolves don't choose the easy path, but the effective one where strategy trumps brute strength. Success doesn't come from a decisive blow, but from perseverance and sustained coordination over time. In nature, survival doesn't belong to the strongest, but to the most adaptable.